Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So let's try this again. Initially, I made a video about specializations and how to upgrade them, but since then, new information has come to light on the fastest way to actually get specialization credits. And so Marco Style put out the video today, and I would say watch that video and determine for yourself if that's a strategy that you want to use. But what I'm going to do in this video today is I'm going to explain in depth what the specializations are, how they're structured, which ones are actually probably beneficial for you or your play style, and then how you can actually level up your specialization in the sense of making your tree completely and fully maxed out. So let's jump into the video because this is probably going to take a few more minutes longer than the other video that I put out. So your specializations, everybody knows, demolitionist, survivalist, and sharpshooter. I'm going for the demolitionist specialization right now, and what I've noticed from looking at all the specialization trees is that if you go from clockwise all the way around, you're going to see that they're actually separated and divided into different segments. And the first segment is what I'm going to call like your specialization utility. This part of the specialization has a lot of utility items and things that actually either help you or your group. One of them is usually towards healing, and then the others are specific utility things that could be tied into your specialization. So in the case of the demolitionist, you have one here that's called the X-Stat Armor Kit Supplementary. That's what it's called. It just armor kits repair 70% damage and boosts weapon handling by 100% for 15 seconds. On completion, an additional 30% repair occurs. So this actually affects just you as a demolitionist. In the case of the survivalist, this actually does armor kits now repair over 5 seconds instead of instantly, but also apply to group members within 10 meters. And then if you go to the sharpshooter, there's also another one that actually goes into health. Armor kits now repair 50% less when used, but remove status effects and increase resistance to bleed, poison, and burn for 20 seconds. So you may have to just ignore this if you mind something like that. And then the next section and the way it's actually divided is your skill. So every specialization is tied to a skill, and so the developers have said that they're going to release new specializations down the road, and I think the next few specializations are going to be probably five more specializations will probably be released because the other skills will need their own specializations. Maybe not, but that's pretty much how they want it. In the case of demolitionist, it's the turret. In the case of the survivalist, it's the seeker mine, and in the case of the sharpshooter, it's the drone. And then the other category is what I will call your tactical link. In fact, it's written here, the demolitionist tactical link. In this case of the survivalist, it's called the survivalist tactical link. In the case of the sharpshooter, it's called the sharpshooter's tactical link. You get the point. And then these actually give you and your group members specific buffs. And then there is a PvP buff that's actually attached to all of them. And so the reason I'm going through this is so that you can actually know which one will be beneficial for you, and I'm going to tell you in my opinion which is the best. So let's just keep going, and then you're going to start seeing the theme come together. Now the next segment is your specialization sidearm. In the case of the demolitionist, it's the Desero Special, and then followed by an upgrade to that sidearm. In the case of the survivalist, it's the D50. I actually got the D50, but they'll give you another one, and it will have a specialization emblem on it. Let me show you what that looks like when you actually get it. So I'm going to scroll down. So this is it, the Desero Special, and it will have your specialization symbol right by it. Okay. So in the case of the survivalist is the D50, and then in the sharpshooter it's the 93R. So the next one is what I will call also your weapons and your weapon mods that are given to you based on the specialization if you were to upgrade these perks. The next one is your probably the main weapon they want you to run with, and in this case it's the LMG, which you can upgrade in a 3-tier system to 5, 10, and 15 increased weapon damage. And in the other case for this demolitionist build, the secondary weapon that they're giving you and secondary weapon buff that you're being given is for SMGs. In the case of the survivalist, it's the assault rifle, and then the secondary weapon is the shotgun. So you can increase it in a 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15 weapon damage increase based on that weapon. So there's something that's a theme here, and I'll tell you the theme when we're done with this. You're gonna see it's very interesting. I love it. And then with the sharpshooter, you get only the rifle, And that's pretty much all you get. So sharpshooter, because these are the only two weapons that actually make sense within this category. And then you get a weapon mod. So this says digital aiming device for long top rails. In this sense, you get a magazine for your assault style weapons, and then you get a mod, an underbarrel. This is an attachment for short rails. So I think this actually works for LMGs as well. The next category is what I'll call the aspect that deals directly with your specialization, which is the final category. So in the way that they've done a utility, skill, your tactical link, your sidearm, your weapons and weapon mods, and then your specialization. This specialization perk here on the tree, it gives your entire group ammo if you were to take a kill, if you were to have a kill with your signature weapon. So this grants a chance to gain signature weapon ammo to all group or raid members. If you upgrade this, everyone's gonna get that ammo if you were to get a kill with your specialization weapon. And then this is your signature weapon damage, and what this does is it just improves the amount of damage your signature weapon gets. If you look in the case of the survivalist, you're going to see the exact same thing. This category, you see this line here that binds to this section, this branch, shows that you're getting that same thing. The group has a chance to gain one signature armor when a target is killed, when a target with the status effect is killed. And then this is where you also increase your specialization as well. If you look at the case of the sharpshooter, same thing, but it's slightly different. Kills with signature weapon may drop signature weapon ammo for all group or raid members. And then in the sharpshooter, allows for you to also increase your specializations. So that's all you need to know about specializations. The different categories: utility, skill, tac link, sidearm, your weapons and weapon mod, and then your specialization buffs and group specialization buff that goes with it. Now, which specialization is the best? I genuinely think that the Demolitionist is the best specialization as of this current meta before they introduce any new ones. The reason I say so is because, number one, the Demolitionist has a lot of explosive damage that can actually be applied to enemy NPCs. Also, when it comes to the group buff, you can give your entire group 5% damage to targets out of cover, which just pretty much increases the entire group's DPS. That is crazy. And with LMGs already having huge damage to targets out of cover, you've now increased your average LMG damage by 15% and your SMG damage by 15% as well. You can do that. And so these are two very good weapons in their own right compared to the survivalist, where you have a shotgun. Shotgun's also good, don't get me wrong, but the utility of a shotgun versus an SMG, I would say an SMG that's actually well spec'd and well done is actually pretty good. And in my opinion, there's a bigger preference for the SMGs over the shotguns right now. So that's one of the things that makes it better. Now, yes, I agree that the assault rifles are actually good, but the LMGs are also very good in their own right. So perhaps there's a tie between LMG and assault rifle here, but here's where the difference maker is. The difference maker, I believe, is in the specialization weapon itself. The M32A1 multi-shot grenade launcher has a capacity of 6 of its ammo, and you can actually rapidly fire all 6 of them without having to reload. In the case of the crossbow, you only have 1 of your ammo that's actually loaded in the chamber at a time. So each time you fire, you have to reload. So that reduces your DPS just by design. And then the same with the TAC-50, where it's a bolt action rifle. It's a bolt action 50 caliber rifle. Each shot, you have to literally, load again a bullet into the chamber and then aim down sights and then fire. So that automatically drastically reduces its DPS. And then the weapon that you only get with it is the rifle. And then even its healing buff is just 50% less in effectiveness. So honestly, I don't see, and then he uses the drone as well, which it's your preference, but the drone is not necessarily a big perk for a lot of people. But if you prefer the drone, then, thumbs up to you. But this is just my opinion. You may, think differently about how all of them actually work and how they all, may fit your playstyle. But when it comes to damage per second and when it comes to overall damage, I mean, with all the talents that you can get on your gear as well, one thing I can't say for sure is if the explosive There's a talent here called Destructive, which adds 20% explosive damage. And so I don't necessarily know if that works with your demolitionist weapon, but I know for sure that this just outclasses the others if you know how to use it and if you actually prefer using it. So that's just kind of one of the things I would say. Now, the final question that I got in my videos, in order to just try to see if I can make this video completely helpful, is how you actually level these things up. And so they use what I call what the game calls specialization credits. And so for you to do that, if you level up to World Tier 4 and play all the invaded missions, they'll grant you a certain amount of specialization credits based on the specialization that you've selected. So if you finish, once you get to level 30 and come here, you got to pick one. So every time you pick one, it's going to pretty much be the one that's activated. He said, if you look here, the option says activate. Once it's activated, any specialization credits that you get will only be for that specialization. So in the case of the survivalist, if I did a mission right now with this and it gave me specialization credits, it will call the credits survivalist credit. In the case of the sharpshooter, it will call the credits sharpshooter credits. And so if you notice, I have credits for all three of them because I was swapping specializations while I was running those missions and I didn't know. So however many specializations that are already in here right now, let me respec. So I have 6 here, and here I have 8. If I had known, those 14 would have actually gone in here and would have been really helpful for me. So first things first, pick a specialization, stick to it until you have it fully upgraded, and then you can start working on trying to upgrade the others. Now, that's one way to get specialization credits. The second way to get specialization credits is from doing your daily missions. Daily missions are on the map. I said daily, sorry, weekly missions. I'm sorry. Weekly missions are on the map and they actually give you those credits. So I've completed my weekly missions and I completed my daily missions. That gave me my specialization credits, and I completed my weekly mission, and that also gave me specialization credits as well. So that's the second way in order to get specialization credits. The third way is from doing bounties. You go in, you take out the bounties. There are actually bounties that are actually granted to you in your settlements from your bounty officer. You have a bounty officer. You also have bounties, I think, that are granted to you daily as well. So you're going to see them on your projects that are given to you. And so these bounties, they also give you the specialization credits. So you have to be doing a lot of grinding. That's another way that you can actually get them. And then the third way that I know to get them is from your field proficiency caches. In fact, Marco's video actually addressed that. And then as I was playing today, I noticed it too, because I started looking out for it, because I came back one day and I found that I had a lot. And I wondered where they came from, and then that's pretty much where they've been coming from. The other way to do it is if you watch Marco's video, it's going to show you, and this is kind of a gray area type of thing, but I am not against it, to be honest. If I had a second character, I had a friend with a second level 30 character, to be very honest, I think I'll probably do it so I can get my specializations all 100% completed, but I don't have a level 30 character. It's an exploit that's in the game, and if the developers want to fix it and patch it, then they'll go ahead and do that. If they don't want to, then they'll leave it there for us to be able to use as a benefit, because leveling up a second character is not easy at all, and so that's a hurdle that people will have to jump. And so that's everything that you need to know about your specialization. So refresher, make sure you pick one, stick with it, and do all your invaded missions with them to gain the specialization credits to upgrade them. Be sure to read all your perks and know exactly what it is that you want before you go ahead and start upgrading, so you don't have buyer's remorse afterwards. And note that it's whatever specialization that you equip when you gain the points that's going to receive points for that specific specialization. And then note that field proficiency caches, bounties, daily and weekly missions are able to give you these specialization credits. All right, that's all I have for today. I appreciate you guys' time and audience. Thank you for those who pointed out some of the things I needed to speak about in an updated video. And so I appreciate you guys helping me that way to serve you. And I guess I'll see you in my next video. Peace.